Hello, this is Chuck Ridgway, Automation Technology Manager at Horner. Thanks for joining us for another Tuesday live stream. Well, it happens to be Thursday, and there's a story behind that. Sorry we're a couple days late. I thought I could do the filming and do the voiceovers and all that sort of thing. And I got all the footage, and I was getting ready to send it to our crack editor, Emily Tedder, and it was terrible. So thankfully today, we have the A-team. Emily and Marcy are at the show, so we're just bringing you a little bit of a wrap-up of Weftec instead of maybe a preview or footage while the show is going at its peak. But anyway, today we've got several things planned for you. The primary thing is to kind of give you a tour of the booth and show you not only some of these products that we've just released that have gathered a lot of attention, but also show you a couple things that we're previewing here at the show that have not been shown anywhere before. So you'll be interested in those things for sure. All right, so to get things kicked off, we're gonna give you a tour of the booth, so let's get started with that. We start our tour of the booth with our solutions rack along the left-hand side, and we're putting a lot of emphasis on BABA, Build America, Buy America. It's really important in the United States these days. Up front and center are the CPU 250, CPU 300, and HMI Connect. Where they belong is important new products. We continue to emphasize OCS 360, which is really gathering steam. And of course, we've got our primary product lines of the Micro Series, the Canvas, and of course, the new modular controllers and OCS I/O. So let's start over here on the right side of the booth with our Canvas display. Now, as most of you know by now, Canvas is the high end of the Horner product line. It's got the best graphics, and it's the only product so far that is based around a dual core microprocessor. So one core dedicated for graphics and the other core dedicated for the logic and the networking. And at the show, we're showing off our Canvas 4, 7D, and 10D. And we're showing off the newest member of the Canvas family, and that is the Canvas Modular Controller CPU 300. And this really is a truly innovative product because, as you probably know by now, if you've been paying attention, this is completely modular. So the main CPU 300, of course, it handles all the logic, it handles all the network connectivity, it has expansion for local I/O with up to 7 modules here. It's got a local display for troubleshooting and setup, but the real innovation is the fact that in its single program, it not only handles all that I've talked about so far, but it also handles graphics. So we've got this HMI Connect cable here, which in a single cable offers power, touchscreen, as well as video. And then that's displayed over here on one of our HMI Connect displays. Now, this particular HMI Connect display is one of our 10-inch advanced panels. This product is spectacular outdoors. It is designed to be rugged. It's all made out of steel as well as, non-breakable glass. It's got a -40 to +80 temperature rating. And even though we're indoors at this stage, if you had this outdoors in direct sunlight, it would be just as viewable today as if, again, just as viewable indoors as well as outdoors. Okay, so this is the 10-inch HMI Connect advanced panel, again, highlighting the newest addition to the Canvas family, which is the CPU 300. Now we've moved to the front of the booth where we're highlighting another model of our HMI Connect display. This one is one of our standard factory models. So it can be installed traditionally in an enclosure to get its IP66 and NEMA 4X rating. Or if IP20 is all you need, you can also install it on a Visa mount. In this case, we've got our newest 15-inch model. This is the best solution if you're looking for a large screen with Canvas. So again, as opposed to, the advanced panel I just showed you, this is not necessarily designed for outdoor viewing, but it has a beautiful display. It can be mounted a variety of ways, and it's got a nice -10 to +60 temperature rating. Now, whereas we've just been talking about the CPU 300 and it's the latest member of the Canvas family, the latest member of the Micro family is the CPU 250, and of course it's prominently displayed here at the show as well. We've highlighted many times on the channel. We had a full summer of content on the CPU 250, but of course, as you all know by now, it's got 34 built-in I/O points, including a healthy amount of digital and analog, and you can add up to 7 modules on the side here. A great new addition to the Micro family. We've now moved over to our solutions rack. Now, this product has been getting a lot of attention. This is our newest digital chart recorder, which we're previewing here at the show. Now, with our existing chart recorder, that product has up to 4 channels of analog input that you can scale and data log and display and really act as a very effective chart recorder. This new model actually supports up to 32 channels of data logging and is based on our latest hardware, which of course is the CPU 300 and the HMI Connect display. Now, here at the show, we're showing 8 channels of analog input with some signals, artificially generated, as you can imagine, and we also are showing the fact that you can also do pulse inputs for things like flow. So this product has been getting a lot of attention. A lot of folks in the water industry have a need for this sort of product, and they've been very impressed with the capabilities of this equipment. A little later on, I'll give you an in-depth look at how you set this up from the screen, because like a lot of our other solutions product, there is no need to get Seascape in order to configure it. Probably the biggest addition to the Horner product line over the last year or so has been the support for our cloud service, OCS 360. So for the first time at Horner, we can provide customers with the ability to remotely dashboard and log data from their applications in about the easiest possible way. So a majority of Horner controllers these days support OCS 360. The newest product, which will be added to the OCS 360 family, is this OCS 360 data logger. Now, unlike all the rest of Horner's products, this is not a full PLC. This product is designed really strictly to be connected to a couple of sensors, maybe a couple of digital actuators, and it allows you to get data from those devices and get it up to OCS 360 on a periodic basis. In addition to that, it not only displays local values on the screen, but it also data logs locally as well. So you're going to see a lot more about this product in the upcoming months. That's the new OCS 360 data logger. So this product really is designed to take over where the data logger for OCS 360 stops. So that product again has the ability to set up, or the ability to interface with a few sensors and actuators. This product takes that to the next level. So this is our new remote terminal unit solution, which is designed around our CPU 250. So you've got plenty of inputs and outputs for remote monitoring and control. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, remote terminal units are typically systems that are designed to interface with sensors and actuators in the field, and remote telemetry, or communicating values back to headquarters, back to a control room, is a critical part of the application. So what we're showing here, again, is a package that's been put together as a part of our solutions group with the CPU 250 at its core, and also with an integrated cell modem. So again, communicating up to OCS 360 is where we're headed with this product. Now keep in mind, we're not quite there yet in terms of adding OCS 360 support to the Micro series, but it will be in place, probably right towards the end of 2025. So again, this is the remote terminal solution. It takes over where the data logger leaves off. So I know most of what I've shown you today has been just kind of an overview of the different products. To give you a little bit more meat on the bone, let's take a look at, in detail, how you set up the chart recorder. In this segment, I want to demonstrate how you can set up our chart recorder without getting out Seascape. No software programming required. Everything is done from the touchscreen. Okay, so we're looking at the real-time display here of the data for the first 8 channels. Let's go ahead and go into setup mode. We can access it here in the lower right-hand corner with the gear logo. All right, and this brings up our configuration menu. Now you can configure things like passwords, email configuration, because this chart recorder does notifications. You can configure network parameters like IP address, etc. System configuration are things like real-time clock and that sort of thing. And then channel configuration is what we're primarily going to be demonstrating today. So let me select that. And this display, I really like it. Okay, it looks a little bit busy, but what it does, it gives you the ability to go in and configure any of the first 8 channels. And then if you want to configure the other channels, you just select over here on the right-hand side. But let's take a look at channel 1. So this is currently configured for pressure. Okay, so I'll select that channel. And this gives you an idea of how flexible this product is. So you can select, of course, the name for this particular point. It's called pressure 1 in this example. We can go in and change the engineering units if we'd like. We're currently using PSI. And down here under the data type, is this an analog input like 4 to 20 milliamp or 0 to 10 volts? Is it a temperature input like RTD or thermocouple? Is it a pulse input like you might get from a flow meter or something like that? You can select any of these 3 choices. And then depending on which one you selected, you can further get the signal type defined. So for an analog signal, this first one we've got configured as 0 to 10 volts. If we were to configure this for thermocouple, we would have thermocouple and RTD choices. If we configure it for pulse, this is where we can set our pulses per unit or units per pulse. We can select what our time base is, how often we want to sample, all those sort of good things. Again, if we had a pulse style input. But let's go back to the original configuration for analog. Another way this product is so flexible is the way that you can assign channels. So we're working with channel 1. It doesn't have to come from the first module, the first channel. Remember, we're working with CPU 300 and OCS-IO as the source of our analog inputs. So we've selected this is coming from the main rack. You can have it coming from a remote rack, which could be very handy if your signal is coming from a remote location, for instance. And once you select the rack, you can also select which module in the rack the data is coming from, and then which channel on the module it's coming from. And another really clever thing is that we're showing you, for this particular signal type, we're showing you how the wiring is done on the unit, which is really handy because, again, depending on the signal type, you need to wire to different terminals. All right, so this is extremely flexible. Now let's take a look at how we do scaling, and that's under signal conditioning. So here we can set our scaling of our raw inputs. Typically we're looking at 32,000 for a maximum. And then we can determine what is our scaled value going to be. So for this case, it looks like 0 to 2,000 pounds per square inch are the engineering unit output for basically for a minus 32,000 to plus 32,000 type input. Okay? All right. In addition to the scaling, you can also decide what happens if we get a value, for instance, that's slightly negative. Do we want to just go ahead and set it to 0, or do we want to go ahead and display a result that is slightly negative? So you've got some flexibility there. And then you can also configure how many decimal points you want to display, because let's face it, displaying 5 decimal points doesn't make any sense if it really isn't that meaningful. And then you can also control how data is graphed, what the minimum and maximum are for the scaling on the graph when this data is displayed at runtime. So this is so flexible. The other thing I want to highlight before we close off here is the alarming. So you can have up to 4 alarm settings for each point. You've got a high alarm, a high warning, a low alarm, and a low warning. And again, you can just use the ones that you want. In this case, we're not bothering with any low alarms because maybe in this application it doesn't really mean anything. And then you also have controlling over your data log intervals as well as what your averages are based on. So just so configurable, and again, we don't have to touch software at all. So we're really excited about this new advanced data logger available as a new solutions product from Horner. About the only piece of footage we were able to salvage from my failed attempt at filming was an interview that I did with Phil Horner, our owner. Anytime you have an interview with Phil, it's always an adventure, and this was really no different, although Phil was pretty well behaved this time. So let's take a look at that footage from a couple days ago. Okay, I'm here with the boss, Mr. Phil Horner, our owner, and I've got a couple questions for Phil. One that I normally ask him at these trade shows, and another that I normally ask our COO, who's not here today. So lucky Phil, you get to answer to 2 topics today. So let's start with the financial.
You start with the easy one.
Let's start with the easy one then. So what's the economy look like? That's an easy question, right?
Oh, man.
From an automation standpoint, what's your outlook economically for automation? To me, it feels like it's a little soft right now. How would you describe things right now?
I would say yes, it's been extremely soft the first part of the year.
Okay.
But the last quarter looks like it's going to be much stronger. A lot of it tied to the interest rates.
Okay, so more investment with lower interest rates should help things a bit.
I believe so.
Okay.
But what I'm really seeing that's more impactful is that customers do not have the resources that they need to do the automation that they really need to do for their plant.
So the expertise.
Yes, expertise, resources, time, and so they're looking for more completed solutions to be implemented.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Okay, now for the question that you normally get. Last time we were at a show like this, I asked the question, what's next? One of the things you mentioned was Ethernet IP scanner, which has been a highly requested customer feature for quite a while now. You let us know that you had green-lit that project.
Yes.
And I can say for sure, based on my participation with engineering, that that's coming along very nicely. And pretty early next year, we should have that feature completed. Now that we're done talking about that, what else do you see as being next for Horner, over the upcoming year or so?
As we get into the quasi-hybrid solutions or products that was shown here at this trade show, the opportunity now shows that we need to be paying a lot more attention to the general field bus applications. So, like Profinet, EtherCAT, things that I've kind of avoided because we had a decent platform of field bus capable products. Mm-hmm. But now it's becoming more important as we get into the full automation hybrid type solutions to implement the other field buses.
We're going beyond the Ethernet IP expansion of our capabilities and including things like Profinet and EtherCAT and those sorts of things.
Yes.
Great. That's
It'll
good
take
to know.
time.
Oh, it will take time, but we'll get there.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, well, thank you for those 2 simple questions, right?
Yep.
All right, and hopefully we'll have a great show. It's gotten off to a good start.
It got a real good start.
All right, thanks, Phil. Okay, that does it here from Weftec. It's been a great show. We've talked to a lot of folks. We've really exceeded our targets in terms of leads. And what's really been exciting is how well accepted and how excited customers are and automation users are with the new Modular CPU 250 and the HMI Connect, along with of course, the CPU 300 as well. All right, so that does it here from Weftec. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, don't hesitate to do so. It doesn't cost anything. If you choose notifications when you subscribe, you'll be notified every time we go live or every time we post a new video. Okay, so until next week, topic to be determined, but keep an eye out on our website. We'll let you know. Let's all get out there and do some good.
And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it.